All right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. This is our advanced class, or section 1 of the long form is really what we've been working on. So let's start with some Qigong exercises. Let's find that comfortable position with our feet. I always like to check in with our body and see where it is today. So shoulder width apart, nice and straight. So no flaring out of the feet at all. Perfectly straight and in line, trying to readjust. Shoulders and elbows hang down. Let's check in with our lower back and our waist. Once we lock out our legs, it creates this curve in the lower back. We want a slight bend in the knees. We want to tuck the lower back or waist area, leveling out the hips, shoulders hang down while the head lifts up, finding length through the spine. Check in with your feet. Move the weight. Where do we feel it? Just focusing in on how it feels in your feet is really important to bring to our Tai Chi practice. So we want to feel that difference of heel to toe, inside to outside, what it feels like if we rotate our knees too wide and it's on the outside of the feet, or we let our knees hang in and then it's on the inside of the feet. So we want it even from the big toe to the little toe, from the inside to the outside, the front to the back. So it's hard to lift the heels and the ball of the foot. All right, let's lift our arms up. Inhaling, exhaling, palms wash down the front of the body. This is a great exercise in visualization too. Inhale, gathering energy. Exhale, letting it wash through the whole body. So follow your own breath. Maybe we look up and then come back to neutral. But we're rotating our arms cleanly, keeping our shoulders down as we lift the arms up, and then getting used to this floating feeling on the way down. Do one more. We'll float the arms down. And then we'll imagine drawing that energy out into a big ball. Now let's work on another one. Let's open up the arms. Remember, we're going to pause for a moment, keep breathing. When we do this, we want to keep our back rounded. So we don't want to like lift and spread too much. We want to let the chest sink in still. This is really important to keep the energy down to the dantian or the belly. And we're going to exhale, bending the knees and hug a tree. Keep space between your fingers, so not too close here. Have a nice gap. Okay, so inhale, open, exhale, rounding. Very nice. So move with your own breath. Try to coordinate the legs. So we're opening, expanding, and lifting, bending, rounding, hugging a tree. Very nice. So try to find a relaxed feeling in your arms. We're holding the arms up for a couple of minutes, so they might start to feel tense in the shoulders. Try to let them hang down a little bit more. Letting those elbows feel like there's a string with a weight pulling them down. All right, this time let's drop our arms down to our hips. Arms come back out to the sides, out to the front, shoulder height, shoulder width. Then let's go upper arms, forearms, and palms sinking down. All right, let's do like water's wave. So we're going to inhale and come up. Exhale, upper arms go down, forearm, and palm. So we're going to connect our breath, which is the inhale, and then our legs. Exhaling, arms go down, bending the knees. Everything stops together. So we lift. We're at the peak of standing. Our arms are shoulder height. We start lowering. We start bending into the knees. When the hands are in front of the hips, we stop bending or sinking. Lifting and lowering. So feel like a wave. It's growing in the ocean. And then relaxes down. So we really want to use this time to start focusing on what it feels like to connect our arms and our legs together. So that pushing out of the ground. So here, feel a push. As you push and stand up, it raises your arms up. As you lower down, you feel the arms sink and you sink deeper into your legs. One more push. Feel that lift up, floating up. And then pressing down, sinking into the legs. And then we'll stand up and bring our arms to the side. Let's move into a swing here. So swing in the torso. Now again, where does the movement start? In our legs. It moves through our waist, which is nice and flexible. And it's coming out in our arms and hands and fingers. You can stay here. If it feels good, you can bring that top arm coming and striking the chest a little bit higher, eventually moving over to the shoulder, or just simply staying down. Your choice. If you move up, go down through the chest again, and then all the way down. And we'll start slowly easing off before we come back to center. Oh, let's roll those shoulders back a couple of times. Feel that movement in the shoulders. Finding a grounding feeling after all that twisting. We'll go the other direction a couple of times. If we're going forward on this round, go back a few times. We all have a tendency to kind of punch forward a little bit, so we want to kind of squeeze those shoulder blades together down and back. Okay. Do we feel a little bit warmed up? Energy's flowing now? All right. Let's work on our practice, okay? So today's movement is a little bit easier than what we've been working on. Today we're going to learn hand strums the lute, but what I'd really like to focus on first is that flow of practice, okay? So let's work on the beginning of the form from prepare all the way through to brush, knee, and push, okay? So this is a nice chunk of the first section where we can start to feel that flow, connect the breath and the body and the upper and lower torso, okay? So I'm going to turn the other way. This will allow us to practice and move in the same direction, starting in prepare. Shoulder width apart, just like our Qigong exercises. Hands to the side, fingertips brush the thighs, head lifting up. Just like water's wave, opening, rotate the arms and lift them up to shoulders height and shoulders width. Then the upper arms go down, the forearms and the palms until they're in front of your hips. Shift your weight to the left so you can rotate on your right heel. Right arm reaches out in front, left arm bends underneath, step to 12 o'clock, ward off left, lifting up and pressing down. Shift your weight back, turn your whole body. Rotate both arms to show grabbing, right arm bends underneath, step, ward off right. Right arm hinges up, left palm presses down. Keep the connection between your arms as you rotate to the corner direction. Shift back and turn to the second corner. Touch the whole palm to your right forearm. Expand up and out for press. Open both arms. Come back over a ball, sit up the palms, and then push. Single width. Flatten your arms. Show pulling with the left arm, then the whole body turns. Rotating the right foot. Press down. Relax the left foot. Make a hook. We're going to step to 9 o'clock. Show ward off and then strike. Raise hands and step forward, shift back and turn. Open up your hook, touch with your right heel. 30% of the weight moves forward as you close the arms. White crane, both arms go down, circle, left arm comes on top, we close and step. Shift, right arm passes on the outside, touch with the ball of the left foot, white crane. Look at your right palm. The left arm comes up, right arm down, then they switch. Right palm sits up, we're looking to the rear corner and we step. Open up, set up your strike straight out as your left palm comes down towards your knee. Brush knee and push. Nice finish. Okay, I know that's a lot, okay? It's a lot of talking, a lot of cues. I want to do this 2 more times, okay? First, the next time I want you to just focus on the breath. So I'm going to talk a little bit less. I want you to flow a little bit more, kind of let go of all of the details. And then the next time we're going to do checkpoints, okay? So this time I just want you to feel the flow of Tai Chi. Just feel that energy from the Qigong, try to let go, and we're going to just move, okay? So prepare. Taking a deep breath, find that relaxed feeling through your whole body. And then let your arms float up for opening. Feel them pressing down, floating through the energy, pushing to in front of the hips, shifting left and open. Checking with your breath, nice deep breaths as we reach out and step, lifting and pressing down. Smooth, even and continuous, turning. We're going to close our arms and step to 3 o'clock. Check in with your breath. Great opportunity. Rotating both arms to the corner, shifting back and floating the arms to the second corner. Touching the forearm. Check in with your breath as you expand out. Opening the arms. Let them float back over a ball and push. Nice deep breath. So it might be 2 breaths as we show pulling and turning. Pressing down and making a hook. Step wide enough, your breath will help, and strike. Move back and turn. Nice deep inhales to the belly. Touch with the heel and turn from the waist. Both arms float down. We close and step. Turning, white crane. Brush knee, look at your palm, let the arms float up and down, and then they switch. And we step, we brushing off a table and striking with the right palm. Okay, how did it feel different that time? Was there more of a flow? Were you able to let go a little bit? There's a lot of detail, right? It's hard. There's a lot, okay? So let's do some checkpoints, okay? But before we do that, are there any big questions about what we've been working on so far? Okay. Okay, so remember, what we're going for with Tai Chi is that flow. There's a lot of detail in the traditional forms, which is really great to know where our body should be or what we're supposed to be doing. But we want to find that flow, and that's why we just practice like we did. Right now, we're going to kind of stop at the key Kodak moments, we'll say, so that we can kind of check in with ourselves and see where we are. Now, while we do this, if the movement is facing the other direction, I'm going to stop and turn. I'd like you to hold the position for a moment so that you can check even though I'm turning, because I'm going to turn back to the original direction so we keep moving together. but I want you to be able to see the arms, okay? So let's start with opening and prepare. And this one we've done a lot, so we're just gonna move through this one, okay? So prepare, we know shoulders width apart, arms to the side, head lifting up, and waist sinking down. We rotate and we lift up. The first checkpoint is, are the arms shoulder height and shoulder width? Then the upper arms go down, the forearms and the palms. That one's pretty easy. We've been doing that a lot. So now we shift left and we're going to turn to our right. This is number one. All we're doing from here is turning. That's it. Our checkpoint, we should look at our foot and is it 45 degrees? Now from here, your right arm's going to reach out, your left arm bends underneath, and we step. Hold this position. Okay, from here, our left arm's really going to be bent underneath, and our right palm is reaching. This is what's really important. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to go to the angle for a second. From here, the right palm is going to come over the forearm as we shift forward and turn. Nice. So from here, our right arm is going to make one line all the way out to 3 o'clock. And our left arm, and our right palm is going to be sitting on a table right here. Yep. So we go from here, and it's one up, one down. So we want to get used to this feeling. The right arm's reaching out, and it's up and down. You're going to see this a lot in Tai Chi. We're reaching. This is grabbing your opponent, and we're pressing up and down. Beautiful. Okay, from here, we shift back some weight, and we turn our whole body. Nice. Now we rotate both arms. So we go from here to here. So essentially what it's doing is we're connecting to someone and we're grabbing. So it's from here, palm down. Yes, that's it. And now it's going to be the same thing. We're going to close the arms and step. That's it. Now from here, one up, one down. Just like before, up and down. Yep, that's it. The only thing here, I'm going to turn so you can see a little bit, is when we do this movement, we end up, see how close our left palm is to our right forearm? That's what we want to go for, okay? Yep, and we're moving straight forward here, okay? This I want to be clear about. So we're here, we're not going to turn, okay? That turning will happen in the next movement. We're looking to 3 o'clock. Everything's happening at 3 o'clock, and we're staying to 3 o'clock. It's very much a forward movement. Forward. Yes. That looks great. Okay. That was it. It's really important, right? Because the action, again, we're grabbing someone's arm that's coming towards us, and we're moving towards them. Yes, that was it. Okay. Now this is where the turning happens. The arms keep connection. They're both going to rotate. Okay, they're going to turn to your right corner as your waist turns to the right corner. Perfect. And now this is the great part. The arms don't change much. We just shift back, turn our waist, and we go to the other corner. Yep, so not too far. Think like if this is 12 o'clock, we want to be to like 2:30, okay, when we end up. Yeah, so think about when I say corner, we're center, and 3 o'clock is straight, 12 and 6 are straight. So the corners are what's in between. So our right arm is what's going to end up to the corner. So 45 degrees in between the 3 and 12 o'clock. Perfect. Okay, now here. Okay, what happens here? I'm coming in close. Why? Turn and touch. Yeah, and just touch. Yep, that's it. It looks harder than it is, right? You just did it when you didn't think about it. Turn and touch. Yes. And now it's just out. Beautiful. From here, open up. Now we pull back over a ball, sit them up, and then push up and out. Good, that's the hard part. All right, from here, flatten the arm. We're gonna show pulling, 1 second. Okay, from here, sorry, we're gonna show pulling. So flatten and sit back. Left arm pulls first. See how the waist turns, the body turns? Now from here, both arms go circle to the other side. Then we press down. So the arms are actually like this here. Yep, perfect. Remember, elbows sink down. I just did this because I kind of turned. Elbows are down. Now we turn here. Arms are like this. Perfect. Ready? Make a hook. And we're going to step and strike. That's it. Now here, your hook hand should be throat level. So think your throat level, nice and high. And your palm should be in line with your shoulder. Good. From here, shift back, turn. Open up the hook. This is your checkpoint. You can see both arms are wide. Now we're going to step. And remember, it's like your hands are clapping and missing as you close. Our final position is here. So it's clap and miss. Yep. Kind of diagonal. Yes. Yes, it's the best way to describe it. Okay, from here, both arms go down. Left arm's going to come on top, and we step. Then the right arm goes on the outside, and we touch and lean into it. Remember, we're not here. We just lean. Perfect. Brush knee. Look at your right palm. One up, one down. Then they switch. And we go to the rear corner. Now here, see how we're pointing? This should feel familiar. What's like this? Single whip. We just did it. Perfect. The difference is from here, we're going to open, hand comes to the shoulder. One forward, one back to strike. Brush knee. All right, how was that? Yeah. You have to unmute, Lynette. Wait. Hold on. I can't hear you yet. Hold your space bar or click the unmute button. There you are.
From going to the phone.
Right.
Although you still have some sound running.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Okay. When you now, if I can remember, when you brush knee, are you moving kind of diagonally, or are you
the arm or the torso?
Let's see. The arm.
Okay, so the arm is going to set up, so it comes from the rear corner, and it's going to set up to the shoulder and then go straight out.
That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if you think about it, all of the strikes are going to be in a straight line, and all of the deflecting is going to be like diagonal. So from white crane, this part is actually like diagonal swing down, but then here it's a set up and it's a straight strike. Yes. Perfect. It's a great question, because that's one of the big common pitfalls is that a lot of students, when we first learn, we kind of go out like this and we kind of come at an angle, and we really want to make sure we set it up first, so then we get that direct line from our shoulder. Okay, that's super important with brush knee. Great question. Okay, any other questions? All right, are you ready to learn hand strums the lute? It's also known as play guitar, because the final posture looks like you're strumming a guitar. Okay, so this movement I'm going to do from the original direction first, and then I'm going to talk more in detail about it going towards the camera. So I just want you to see one time what it looks like when we're facing the original direction from the form. So we're in brush, knee, and push. Hand strums the lute. We're going to lean forward and kind of reach out. Pulling back, we're going to change to an empty stance on the heel. Okay, so this movement is now we're seeing from a bow stance to an empty stance. So we just did white crane to brush knee, right? So we went from an empty stance to a bow stance. Now we're going to learn how to transition from a bow stance to an empty stance. So brush knee, we're going to learn to step in, pull back, and change to our heel. Okay, so let's talk about the footwork first. I'm going to mirror you for the footwork so that it's easier. So facing your camera, the left foot is forward. Okay, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to shift your weight forward, picking up your right heel. You're going to step closer in. So maybe you touch with your toe first and then your heel so your foot goes diagonal. Look down. Are we corner direction, 45 degrees? Now we're going to push back. Push that weight back. Your heel's coming off the ground ever so slightly, and then you're going to lift and touch with the heel. Okay? So anytime we're going from an empty, we're in a transition, and we're going to go to an empty stance on the heel, we're going to pick up from the toe and change to the heel. If we're going to an empty stance on the toes, we're pick up from the heel and change to the toes. Okay, so we never want to kind of repeat the movement here. So we're not going to go and touch heel to heel. Okay, does that make sense? It's a little detail, but it's kind of important. It's a like a general rule with changing of our stances. Okay, so again, I'm mirroring you. So your left leg is forward. We're in a bow stance. Okay, your knees in alignment, your toes to the corner direction. Shift your weight forward, lifting up your heel, pick up and step closer in and to the side. Good. Now push back. Push back with your toes, right? Now pick up and touch with your whole heel. Remember, the foot is nearly flat on the ground. It's not up on the edge of your shoe. It's the whole foot. Okay? So if I change to the correct direction, it'll look like this. Now, do you notice here the lean? We're not straight up and down. We lean into our front leg. 30% is in the front. And how do we get it? That leaning. Did anyone ever go and do the scale challenge with a bathroom scale? You did. What did you find out?
I'm really heavy. I'm
Well,
really heavy.
all people hate the scale essentially, but how did it feel with the percentage? Were you able to play around with, like the 30%?
Yeah, I end up. I know I usually press about 40%.
That's okay.
Yeah, and instead
As long as we're not 50-50, okay?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
see, you figured out how much you're putting into it. So you can pull back a little bit, and you definitely don't want to put more. And that's why I suggested, so for anyone who hasn't heard, I say take a bathroom scale, weigh yourself, and then put one foot on it. So take your scale and put your front foot and lean into it and find out what that 30% feels like. My teacher told me to do this, and it was a wake-up call. It's like, oh, this leg's really good, and this leg is not so good. So this is why I suggested to you, okay? All right. How do we feel about the footwork, that transition? Good?
Yep.
Okay. let's talk about the arms, okay? So I will just mirror you for just a little bit because it's a little harder to do this movement on the other side for me personally. With our right palm, what's gonna happen is you're gonna reach forward and you're kind of like shaking hands or letting your fingertips point down slightly, okay? Because you're gonna come back and press down, okay? So what's happening here? If I turn to the side, you can see a little bit better, okay? We're doing brush knee. We're gonna let somebody pull us in, okay? So you can imagine somebody grabs your wrist and they're pulling you and we're saying, oh, you can take me. Now I'm gonna grab you and I'm gonna pull back and press down. Not too bad, right? Pretty clear because we're leaning into it and then we're coming back and down. Okay, so remember in Tai Chi, a lot of the times the meaning is grabbing, but we never actually show closing the hand. We want the energy flowing through the fingertips. Okay, so what's going to happen with the left arm? It's seated, sitting on a table. It's going to turn. Okay, it's setting up. So what happens is they kind of turn together. See how they're kind of facing each other? And then kind of standard Tai Chi rule, one forward, one back. And then it's lifting, lifting, okay? Yes, so it's one up, one down, okay? So if I mirror you, okay, the left palm seated, it's gonna turn and rotate, and we're gonna call it a lifting arm. It's lifting. It's lifting. Can you guess what the energy point is? Center of the forearm. Okay. So many times, ward off right, center of the forearm. Roll back, center of the forearm. Press, center of the forearm. Raise hands and step forward, center of the forearm. Okay. A lot of this is the center of the forearm, okay? So if I'm mirroring you and we're in brush knee, our right arm is gonna reach out, you're re-grabbing, you're gonna pull back and push down. Your left arm is seated on a table, it's gonna rotate and then lift. So it's this lifting and we're thinking about the center of the forearm. Okay, this is the most important part. So I'm going to turn to the original direction, okay? And we're just going to talk about the arms together. So we reach out and both palms turn. Now, notice how the torso is square. Everyone is square. Right now, we're going to turn our torso. One goes forward, one goes back. Now from here, there's no turning of the torso. It's just going to be an up and down. Okay, so up and down, up and down. Yes. So you're thinking someone's arm is right here. Okay, it's all in this part. And you're going controlling. So again, it's that whole thing of someone's arm is going to go like this. Okay, because their elbow is on your forearm right here. And you've got their wrist. And you're taking their arm and you're going from here and they're like, whoa, okay, this is what we're imagining here. So that we know the meaning, even if we're never going to use it, we still know that from here, we're re-grabbing their wrist, we're pulling them in, and their elbow is going over. Now, what's so important here? It's not just this. It's not just this, right? Together, up and down, up and down. If you ever get a chance to practice any of these movements with another person, what you'll notice is with any of these movements, especially like say ward off, raise hands, what we're working on, hand strums the lute. If you're trying to control someone's arm in this way with the elbow and wrist, if you're using a cantilever, okay, and you're just have something here and you're just trying to push down on it, same thing here, you're just trying to push down, hand strums the lute, you're not going to get someone to move. Or if they move, it's not going to be very much. But if you do this up and down together, you're going to get a lot more power, okay? So this is one of the Tai Chi principles. Everything arrives together. So that means everything is moving at the same time, okay? So from brush knee, let's think about the upper body coordinating everything together. You're reaching out, the palms are turning. You're pulling back, the torso's turning. And now think up and down, working together until they both stop. Nice. Now here, what do you notice? Fingertips point to the center of the forearm. So if I'm mirroring you, fingertips point to the center of the forearm. Okay. Now, what I'm going to show you right now, raise hands and step forward, right? Hand strums the lute, same thing. Okay, I'm going to twist your mind for just a split second, okay? So if I do raise hands and step forward normally, okay, it's opposite of what it would look like for you, right? This is my normal raise hands and step forward. If I do brush knee and push to hand strums the lute on the opposite side, do you notice the position is exactly the same? Hand strums the lute regular, mirroring hand strums the lute. The final position is exactly the same, okay? So what does that mean? When we're doing hand strums the lute, we end up, our fingertips point to the center of our right forearm, right? We're opening, we're clapping and missing because we're controlling side to side. But the big thing is our fingertips point to the center of our forearm. Hand strums the lute, up and down, fingertips point to the center of the forearm. This should be the mirror image of raised hands. It should feel the same. How we get there is different, but the end posture should feel the same. Yes, I love seeing you include the footwork. That's exactly right, okay? It's really important because if you think about it, raise hands and step forward, the right leg is forward, and we're closing. Brush knee, the left leg is forward, we're up and down. Kind of cool, right? There's a lot of things in the traditional yang form that I personally really like as you learn more and more over years and years of practice. Like in the beginning, you'll notice little things and then you keep adding on to it because there's so many similarities. You'll see so many things and be like, oh, I've already seen that, or oh my goodness, how did I not realize that exactly the same thing before, which is kind of cool to keep challenging your brain in that way, okay? So let's try to put the whole brush knee and hand strums lute together, okay? So step out into a really nice bow stance here, a really nice natural bow stance. And we're in brush knee and push, okay? So to combine it together, we shift our weight forward, we reach out and our arms change and we step in. Now we shift back, we show turning of our waist, we're pushing, and this is our next checkpoint. Now from here, change to your heel, 30% forward, arms up and down. Good, so from here, think up and down, up and down. Yes, so from here, right arm's high, left arm's low, up and down. Good. Now the looking direction should seem natural, but maybe not so much. But to reiterate, we're looking forward. Everything's happening here, okay? Because we're grabbing, pulling back, and we're staying looking forward the whole time. Now, what I want you to notice here, once we do this, there's no turning. We're not turning back. The torso is open to the side and it's just up and down. Because if we turn, our knee goes in. So we just want up and down, okay? This is important. All right, brush knee, natural bow stance, stepping out, bow stance. Good. Right palm striking, left palm hanging on the table. Perfect. Reach forward, you're re-grabbing. Pull back and turn. Touch with the heel, up and down with the arms. How do we do? Looks good. Remember here, not too low with your right palm, a little bit higher. Keep it close. Okay. So from here, when we end, not too low. Okay. Try to keep it high. That's important because you think it's someone's arm, right? We're controlling someone's arm. So the elbow is here and the wrist is here. The wrist wouldn't be down here. If the wrist was down here, you'd have their armpit on your forearm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it again. So brush knee, sinking into the right leg, step out with the left. Right palm striking, left hand by the knee. Reach out, fingertips point down, both palms are kind of turned. Pull back, turning the waist. Touch with the heel, arms up and down. Right fingers point to the left forearm. We're looking dead ahead. Yes. Nice work. Okay. Any questions? No,
I
it's
have
not too
to
bad,
leave.
right?
Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. We're going to do one more time. Okay. We're just going to go from single whip all the way through to hand strums the lute. Okay. So single whip, shift back, turn, open the hook. We're going to touch with the heel, clap and miss, raise hands and step forward. Both arms go down, circle, really rotate the left arm, close the arms and step. Right arm passes on the outside. White crane spreads its wings. Looking at your right palm, left arm goes up, then down, arms to the rear corner, step. Open up, strike with the right palm. Here's our new movement. Reach forward, stepping in. Pull back and turn from the waist. One up, one down, hand strums the lute. All right. Great work today. That was awesome. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. It was good to see you all.